Welcome, Peacock fans, to another episode of Peacocks on the Prowl. I'm Jim Lowry, and sitting next to me today is the head coach of the men's wrestling team, Heath Grimm. Coach, nice to have you.
Glad to be here, Jim.
All right, Coach, this weekend your team was down in Mason City for the Nyack Open, which is an open tournament, open to anybody who wanted to show up. How'd your team do?
Well, like any open, you're going to have some great performances. You're going to have some performances that you're not that pleased with, and everything in between. But overall, I think we left there with the most wins of any team. We had the most falls of any team, so it was a good start.
All right, Coach. Now, for those watching at home, just to be clear, a fall is a pin.
Correct.
Correct. Which is what we're looking for here in men's wrestling.
Yeah, that's the ultimate.
All right, Coach. So kind of go up the weight classes for us. Let's start with the lightweights. Who really did well and stood out for your team?
Well, at 125 pounds, which is the lightest weight class, we had co-champions. So we had two wrestlers actually advance to the finals of the bracket and face off against each other. We elected not to compete against each other, but that was Malik Williams and Garrett Wangsness, who was our starter last year. Malik is a redshirt freshman, a kid coming off a red shirt, was looking to make some noise and kind of establish himself as a challenger to Garrett. So at 125, pretty outstanding, right? Two guys make the finals. We weren't up the weight class at 133. We had some good performances. Dakota Wangsness, Garrett's brother, he ended up getting to the finals at 133. He ended up losing, but reached the finals in a pretty good fashion. Mitch Funk, a fifth-year senior, lost earlier in the day and stormed back and then ended up fourth in the tournament.
All right, Coach, so it sounded like the lighter weight classes did really well for you this weekend. Tell us about the middleweights.
Yeah, middleweights, 149 pounds, 157, 165 pounds. We'll consider those middle for this episode, but Damien Penachet, Alex Mitchell at 149 pounds met each other in the finals. We did not compete there, just deferred that for later. They did an outstanding job, making progressions, being young kids, starting to establish some more match strategy and figure out who they are as wrestlers. It was a great start for both those athletes. At 157, we had Cody Nelson competing for us. Our incumbent and one of our captains of our team, Jordan Rankin, he was not cleared to wrestle yet. We're going to be waiting for him to wrestle in December. But Jordan's been putting in some time with Cody, and Cody did a nice job. He finished third in the tournament, beat a couple good kids, lost to obviously a pretty outstanding kid from Iowa State early in the tournament, but to come back and get third was a nice solid performance. At 165, we had two athletes reach the finals again against each other. Zach Bennett's, who's a junior this year, and then we also had a redshirt freshman, Doug Perrin from Osage, that made the finals as well. So those middleweight classes, obviously having co-champions at 49 and 165 and taking third sandwiched in between there is a pretty solid job.
All right, Coach, and then last but certainly not least, tell us about the heavyweights from this weekend.
Yeah, or the upper weights, 74 on up, 174, 184, 197 in heavyweight. We're a little lean right now with upper weights. Second semester, we're hoping to get a little bit of a boost and getting some guys healthy. But 174, we had Colby Vance and Dalton Westerland that did a great job. We still got some things to work out there. Need to get to that next level of conditioning. But I think we had a second and a third place finish out of both those guys. 184 pounds, we had Brock Sorensen compete unattached. He found himself with a win in his first collegiate open. So we're trying to find the positives to build off there, but still have some work to do there. 197, Maurice Wilburn, and at heavyweight, Avery Jacobs. Both those athletes did not get a win, but they were in some very competitive matches. Example being Avery Jacobs' first collegiate match was against Iowa State starting heavyweight. Left the match not happy, but within a decision loss. So it wasn't a major decision or a technical fall or a fall. He survived that. We'd like to obviously improve. And then his second match was against one of Iowa State's young and upcoming kids who was a state champion, who's they have high hopes for. And Avery was right there with him in a close match. I think it ended up 2-0. But we were in a position where an escape would have tied the match up early in the third period, but didn't go our way. So I actually left the tournament feeling encouraged about Avery's performance in his first competition.
All right, Coach, now this week we've got two teams coming in for a triangular here in Dorman Gymnasium. We've got Waldorf and Truman State. Who off your team are you really hoping really shines this week?
It's a great question. Obviously, all of them, to put it in a nutshell. But talking about the lightweights, I'd like to see those 133 pounders. We're going to bring 2 athletes and going to weigh in, and both are going to split matches. Mitch Funk and Dakota Wongsness. I'd like to see them wrestle with the lights on in the gym. Moving up the line in the middleweight area, same type of thing going on at 165 with Zach Bennett and Douglas Perrin. We're going to have 2 athletes weigh in there. I'm excited to see how they do with the split opportunity. But at 149 and 157, these guys are redshirt freshmen getting their first chance to wrestle in Dorman Gym, so we're excited to see how they respond to that as well. Moving up the line at 197 and then at 285, those are redshirt freshmen as well that did not get a win at the Nyack Open, that I know their focus has been working hard at trying to leave here tonight with a W.
All right. Well, there you have it, Peacock fans. Peacock Wrestling at home for the first time this year. A triangular meet with Waldorf and Truman State coming out to Dorman Gymnasium on Thursday at 6:30 to watch all the action. Until next time, Peacock fans, I'm Jim Lowry. Thank you for watching.